Hi, in this video I will break down this effect where you have two nulls, and when they are far away from each other, our object is blurred, and when they are close to each other, it appears and have this nice light and shadow effect. But first of all, we should dive into DaVinci Resolve, because there I can explain several scenes, what After Effects is missing, and how you can actually implement this effect inside After Effects without any plugins. So in DaVinci Resolve, we have a similar setup. We have 2 points, and when they are far away from each other, the object is blurred. When they are close to each other, it became in focus. The first scene where I like to work in DaVinci Resolve with similar effects is Vari Blur node. It's an alternative node for compound blur in After Effects, and it works just faster and gives much cleaner results than compound blur in After Effects. So it's the first scene. And second scene, that Resolve natively works with UV maps, which is critical for such kind of effects. Let me quickly show you what I mean. So usually if we want to create colorful gradient in After Effects, we make a black and white map first, and then add colorama effect, right? Similar scene I'm doing here in Resolve. But you already can see problem here, because simple gradient effect takes lightness as a source. So it goes from black color to the bright ones. And here we have something different. And this is why UVs are so useful. Instead of working with lightness, they use green and red channels to define what color to put. So here I have a two-dimensional gradient, and it's where all the colors came from. For example, this yellow comes from this point, and it's actually a red color in our map. So imagine these colors like coordinates. So green goes up, and the red goes to the right. And if we look to our map, if we go to the up corner, we have blue, and in the final result, we have blue here. The black is this color, the light blue color, because we have here the light blue, and the yellow color where green and red blends. We have here the red color because where we go to the top and then in the right, because we have full of in the yellow we have full of green and a lot of red. And this gives us incredible possibilities to blend colors. We can actually put anything to our color source. Here I quickly show you what can be done. Unfortunately, making something like this is impossible in native After Effects. I share this DaVinci Resolve project file for free, so you can play with it yourself. And now let's go to After Effects and see what we can make there, and how this effect is actually done. By the way, you can get also this After Effects project file. It will be on my Gumroad account, and I will put the link somewhere where you can easily find it. So you can get this project and play with it yourself. So let's forget about all these UV scenes for a moment, and let's talk how this effect was done. Of course, so first of all, we should have a shape. I have this weird one, but you can put here anything. And then we have, let's see, two positions where we duplicate our shape. I create here the comp. So this is position number 1, U position, and V position. A and B, whatever. Okay, so it is here. So U source and composition V source. Let's also change the resolution to preview it faster. And whenever I move any of the null object, as you see, this shape also moves here and here. To blur these sources, I use compound blur. And as you know, compound blur should have a map. So next step is to create a blur map. And here where this gradients comes from, you can see the actual composition here in UDOF map and VDOF map. How I create position of these gradients? Let's go back to main. So each gradient, for example, this one blue, it's VDOF map. It starts from here and ends in this point. And this orange one, it's UDOF map. It starts from here and ends also in this point. This point is in between of these two null objects, as you see it right in the middle. Okay, and what is these 2 points and how I find them? Is I actually added a little bit distance here. It controls by this added distance, and we can change it. As you see, if I press here 0, we have no additional distance, and the gradients just stops in the middle of our shape. But we need to have this extra distance for our blur because of one important thing. So let's go back to our final look. Let's bring everything together like this. And when I change the distance, you will see how this DOF effect collapse. Because what happened here, the gradient, we have no gradient here and have no gradient here, because all points are just in the middle here. That's why we need to have this extra distance, so our gradient became a gradient, not just a line. And you can see actual compound blur effect here, UDOF and VDOF. But actually, how to find the position of those extra distances, what expressions to use? It's actually very simple. Here is in assistant, I use vector. Vector, it's the direction between these two positions. So I can multiply the distance. So the vector you can find by normalize function, and we multiply this vector by this added distance value. And we get additional distance here and additional distance here. This point in the middle we can find by the sum of these two positions and dividing them by 2. Here it is the expression. And the last part is we need actually to find the distance between these 2 points by length function. We needed this length because we need to increase our blur effect by the distance between these 2 points. So here it is the solution, and you can find all the blur setup here in UDOF and VDOF compositions. So we have here just use source with compound blur. I also add additional fast blur effect, so it blurs even more. And the same thing I do with VDOF. With vSource, we have the shape, we add compound blur. The map for compound blur is here. And we add also the extra blur effect. And the expression, as you see, we use the distance to increase the blurriness when the 2 points are far away from each other. In the next part, we should combine these two blurs, dove blurs, together. So in this you combined composition, I add UDOF composition and subtract it by VDOF and get this look. Also, I add in between here, but without in between, it looks like here. And I add this in the combination, also this in between. What it is, it's actually our placeholder with minimax and fast blur effect on top of it. And actually, we can see it here as a red glow. As you see, when the positions are far away, we do not see this red color. And when we are close, it appears as a red glow. So it is this in-between composition. We need this to have this nice pink color in our final look. Without it, let's see, if I do not bring it here, you will see that we do not have this pink. So just an extra detail. And the same scene we have in vCombine, but in reverse. So here we place UDOF and subtract VDOF. And in vCombined, we do the opposite scene. We place VDOF and subtract UDOF. So you can see the difference. And finally, we get to our final composition. You can ignore all these layers because it's just me trying to fight with compound blur artifacts and adding some sharpness and noise effect. So not very important things. What is important is these two combined compositions that I showed you before. So we have V combined, we add the extra, to add the color, we add the tritone effect. Then we inverse to add the glow, and we inverse it back to get the black color. All the tritone and glow you can actually find in the final controller. So it was here the color, here the first color, and here the second color. So I can, as you see, change it here. So it's the combination, it's on multiply mode. And on the top, we add the U combined. I also add here the tritone effect. So to add the color without it, it's just black and white. I add tritone, I add the glow. Also the glow you can control in controller. Here the radius, here the threshold, here the threshold and radius for V, and here the color, or out color, or in color. In the final look, if we add everything, it looks like this. So outer U color, U color, we can change it to green. Outer V color, we can change it to maybe violet. These inner colors, it's something that is not simple to see. So it's color here. And see, I can change it. I can make it transparent because you combined use add mode. And if I make it black, it's became transparent. And for the V, for this shadow, you see this orange here. It's actually this control here. You see it's change the colors just a little bit. And the glow walk like glow like you can expect it to walk for the two source. And this solution is my workaround that native After Effects do not work with the UV map. So I just play with modes and add extra blur with tritone color, with tritone effect. And I actually create another version of this effect. So if I click here, alternative look in controller layer, I get this extra red color. Let's bring everything to the 1 point to see this effect, how it differs. So we have here the original one. As you see, we get here the artifact of the compound blur that I'm talking about. And if we add all the sharpness, this artifacts are vanished. So, but for a quick preview, I turn everything off. And if I click alternative look, I get this redness. I can control this redness by changing those colors, color controls. And this redness came from this UV combined alt composition. Here it is. And it's another combination of VDOF, UDOF, and in between composition. Just playing around. Here it is. I added here also tritone to control the color. And I made it highlight mode to blend with layers below. And this is how all this works in After Effects. I forgot to mention that I have here the DOF blur control that controls the blurriness of our compound blur. And I have here in between blur that also additionally blurs this redness. So this is how it works. I really hope that you find something useful by watching this breakdown. I tried to make it under 10 minutes, but here we are, over 20 minutes in duration. So I'm sorry that it takes so long and for my English skills. And once again, I hope that I do not waste your time. Remember that there is no need to replicate the effects yourself. You can get all the project files on my Gumroad account. Thank you for watching and goodbye.